What is going on, everybody? This is Coach Coleman, Jesse Coleman, and welcome to Breakthrough Blueprint, the podcast where we help you tap into your full potential. And this week it's a solo episode. I was trying to figure out, what I wanted to talk about this week. I was having a little brain dump, brain fog and things like that, and I really didn't know what I wanted to dive into. And I was watching Monday Night Football, and of course, my Chicago Bears was playing, and they were playing the Minnesota Vikings. And for anybody that know me knows that I am a huge Michigan fan. I mean, since I was a little kid, I'm a season ticket holder. I'm up there all the time, hanging out in Ann Arbor. And JJ McCarthy is the quarterback from the Minnesota Vikings, right? And it was his. First of all, let me say this. This was probably one of the most stressful games that I watched because, of course, born and raised Chicago Bears fan, Michigan fan. JJ McCarthy got Michigan their national championship, and I just wanted to see that. I just wanted to see him shine. So I was like stuck in a hard situation of who I wanted to cheer for. I'm like, okay, I want the Bears to win, but I want JJ to get as many touchdowns as he can, let him do his thing, but also let the Bears win. So let JJ do good, but the Bears do a little bit better, right? So that's what I was hoping for. And watching the game, as I was watching the game, I was also watching social media and just seeing one how the same people that build you up will tear you down. That's the first thing I want to highlight. So be careful who you're pouring into, or who you're listening to, because the same people that will build you up will tear you down. And we see that a lot in the media and sports and movies and music. They will build you up just to tear you down. And there was a lot of people tearing him down as the game was going on. And then after the game, those same people had to eat their words. So that just made me think about it when I was trying to decide on what I wanted to talk about. And I wanted to talk about staying composed when the game turns against you. Staying composed when the game turns against you. So let's talk about the game a little bit. JJ McCarthy, he had to sit out his rookie season because he had a knee injury, so he was out. So this was his first start. Not only this was his first start, this was his hometown. He was born in the suburbs of Chicago. He went to high school there before going to IMG Academy in Florida. I think it's in Florida, if I'm not mistaken. This was his first start. So his first start in his hometown, and it's Monday Night Football. So that means nothing else is going on. Everybody is watching this game, and everybody is watching you to see what you do. So again, first start, first pro start for the Vikings in Chicago, his hometown. And the first three quarters, it was rough for him. I mean, it was rough. If I'm not mistaken, in the first three quarters, I think he only had 54 total passing yards, something like that. Right after the half, I think it was right after the half. Coming into the third quarter, he had a pick six. So the thing that I wanted to get from that was, and this is something I've known because I'm a Michigan fan, and I've seen JJ play in person, and I've seen him play, you know, on TV, and just the type of person he is, that he's always going to be locked in. So it didn't matter how he started. It just know that, hey, I have confidence in myself. I got to keep going. So with that, with that was happening, and I want to go into the point of composure over circumstances. Composure over circumstances. He struggled the first three quarters, but he stayed confident. He didn't panic. He kept leading. If you saw, the camera view where he was on the sidelines, he was talking to the O line. He was talking to the receiving core. He was talking to his coach. At halftime, when they was going back into the locker room, he stayed in the tunnel and he was giving everybody half fives as they're going in the locker room. He kept his composure no matter the circumstances. He stayed committed to who he was and the confidence that he had to know that, hey, I'm a winner. I could do this. Now let's transition that into life, into what we're doing. In life, you're gonna have three bad quarters where nothing is working, nothing is clicking, shit is going wrong. You're gonna have those three bad quarters. For some of us, we're in that second quarter right now, or we're in the first quarter. For some of us, we're in that third quarter. So, how are you going to keep your composure? How are you going to keep that confidence in yourself to know that, hey, just because these quarters went to shit, I still gotta stay confident. Composure over circumstances. Here's what we need to remember: we got to stay calm, stay confident, and consistent, no matter what the scoreboard say at the moment. Stay calm, stay confident, stay consistent, no matter what the scoreboard say at the moment. Because until that final whistle blow, there's still an opportunity for you to come back, for you to put points on the board, for you to do the things you need to do. So we have to remember that. So again, for us, we're some of us again, we're probably in that second quarter, we're in that third quarter. Hell, if you look at um right now, we're in September, we're in the third quarter of the year. How are you in relations to your goal? How are you in relation to your business goals, your physical goals, your mental goals, your key relationship goals? Look at the scoreboard. That's why we track what we do. Look at the scoreboard. Where are you right now? Okay, now we got to keep that composure. Remember, composure over circumstances. We got to stay composed in what's going on. And now we look at that, and I've talked about this before on the podcast that failure is feedback. So when we look at that, every struggle is training you for the next play. I used to, coach grammar school football with my dogs, Nehemiah and Reese. And it was always whatever happened, that is training us for the next play. This play didn't work. Okay, coach, what did you see? Well, you know what? The linebackers, when they saw you put the receiver in motion, they all shifted to that side. I think they know what's going on. Okay, we need to work on the next play. Right? Every bad quarters are growth quarters. Again, failure is feedback. You look at Q1, Q2, we're in Q3 right now. What has been the feedback that you received from Q1, Q2, Q3? Again, and this is what's going to train you for resilience. This is what's going to keep you going. This is what's going to keep that confidence and consistency in you because you're using that as feedback to what you need to change, what you need to work on. And that's why we do mid-year business plan review. That's why every quarter we go look at what's happening. That's why every month we see what we did the month before so we can know what we need to do the month moving forward. So again, we got to always look at what's going on as feedback for us to move forward into what we need to do. And then you got to be committed, committed. Commitment creates comebacks. Just one thing I like about JJ. I seen it at Michigan. I saw it Monday night. No matter what was going on, he kept a smile on his face and he was locked into the game. He was committed to his role as the leader, as the quarterback, as the general on the field. He threw the pick six. He didn't pack it up. He was like, okay. He went and talked to coach. He went and talked to the line. He went and talked to receivers, put it on him and said, hey, okay, we still got time. We still able to do what we need to do. So in business or in life, those struggles are reps to help you build that mental toughness. Again, he had to sit out all last season because he tore his, if I'm not mistaken, his ACL or his MCL. It was one of those things. He tore that. And I've torn my MCL before. The mental strain that puts on you, where at sometimes you're scared to do certain things, or you're scared to to do what you did when you tore that. For me, I tore it doing jujitsu training. That mental block I had going back into jujitsu after that was so bad. But again, it helps build that mental toughness. So for him, he had that bad quarter, the bad three quarters. Again, he came out after the half and threw a pick six in his hometown, first professional start, Monday Night Football. But he kept that smile on his face that he always have. He stayed committed to his position. He stayed committed to his goal, and he used those struggles to build his mental toughness. So for us, how are we gonna use those failures? And remember, we said failure is feedback. How are we gonna use those things to build our mental toughness? We change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. How are we reframing our thoughts around the struggles we had in Q1, Q2, and maybe what we're having right now in Q3? We have to be committed to our position. We have to be committed to what we're doing to be able to move forward. So then now we talk about life and business, and it pretty much it goes hand in hand. When setbacks come, you can't quit. That's when you go back to your values, your goals, and your vision. So remember, we always talk about what is your vision? What is your value? What are your goals? What is your mission for what it is that you're doing? In sports, their mission is they want to win a championship. They want to be the best player ever. They want to lead their team somewhere. So they have their goals, they have their vision, they have their values. So for you in your personal life and in your business, you have to have your value goals and visions. You have to have your mission statement because when things go bad, when you throw a pick six coming right out after the half, when you're having that bad first, second, and third quarter, your vision, goals, and values are going to be the things that's going to have to keep you locked in. You're going to have to go back to that to be able to move forward. All right. And then every struggle, again, we talked about it. Every struggle is training you for the next play. Okay. The comeback doesn't just win the game, it builds the player. The confidence that JJ got after leading his team in the fourth quarter, throwing two touchdowns and running for a third touchdown. The confidence that was built in him is he know he can do anything. He already had that confidence in himself, but now he like, hey, we did it. We did it on prime time. My first start in my hometown. If I can do it here, I can do it anywhere. Right? So here are some things I want you all to think about. And I started from the top going to the bottom. So I want to highlight these things. So the first thing is it's not how you start, it's how you respond when things get hard. It's not how you start, it's how you respond when things get hard. First quarter went bad. Okay, move on. Second quarter went bad. Okay, move on. Third quarter going bad. Okay, move on. Right? Then the next part, your calm, confidence, and consistency matter more than the scoreboard in the moment. So we are in Q3. The scoreboard may say that you're behind on your fitness goal. The scoreboard may say you're behind on your business goal. The scoreboard may say you're behind on your key relationships. Your consistency matters more than that. So are you committed and being consistent in the activities that you need to do to make the scoreboard look differently at the end of the game, at the end of the fourth quarter? Next part. Commitment is what keeps you moving until opportunity meets preparation. Commitment is what keeps you moving until opportunity meets preparation. Again, it comes back to commitment. If you're committed to the goal, that means you're going to be consistent. If you're going to be consistent, that means opportunity is going to be there for you. Fortune favors the bold, but I also like to say fortune favors the people that do the damn work. There's no such thing as luck. There's only people that's committed to doing the activities, doing the work, that are the ones that get quote unquote lucky. And then the other part is the comeback doesn't just win the game, it builds the player. You stay committed to what you're supposed to do, then that commitments come brings opportunities, and those opportunities bring results. And you look at the first quarter, the second quarter of the year, and you realize, man, if I would have just been committed, then I would have been in a different place. But at the end of the day, we just have to stay committed and know there's always going to be failures. There's always going to be setbacks. We know this. BS happened in the world. BS happens in business, the economy, the the climate of the different nations. Like whatever it is, there's always going to be something, and we have to know that the comeback doesn't just win the game; it builds the player. Everything that we go through should be feedback for us to get better and better. We have to be committed to that. So here's the challenge I have for you all. When in your life are you in the middle of a bad quarter? Think about it. Where in your life are you in the middle of a bad quarter? Then the next, where do you feel like nothing's working? Where do you feel like nothing is working? And then I want you to ask yourself, is this the opportunity for you to stay composed, stay committed, and keep playing the game? Because we know the comeback is possible. We saw JJ. Again, I'm gonna keep laying out the total picture for you because for people that don't watch sports or people that didn't follow JJ or know the circumstances, but your rookie season, you tore something in your knee preseason. You miss your whole rookie season. Come back for your first full season, so your first start, Monday Night Football in your hometown. Your team believed in you so much that they got rid of the veteran quarterback they had and signed you. That's a lot of pressure, right? And then you go out there and you have a bad first three quarters, but he stayed composed, he stayed committed, he stayed in his confidence and his self. He stayed there and he came back and won the game, all in the fourth quarter. So again, ask yourself, where in life are you in the middle of a bad quarter? And where do you feel nothing is working? And look at the example of how JJ was able to stay composed in the moment and brought his team back. What does that look for like for you in your life and in business? Staying composed, staying committed. So again, we're going into the fourth quarter soon. We're in the third quarter. What has the first three quarters of the year looked like for you? What has been the feedback that you had for it? Because again, failure is feedback. What has been the feedback that you've gotten for the first three quarters? And are you committed to the vision, the mission, and value and goals that you have placed for yourself to do the things that you need to do to stay confident in yourself, to stay in the game, use those quarters as feedback to move forward? So that's what I wanted to leave you all with. Quick, short. Again, I was struggling to figure out what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. And after watching the game on Monday, and then it was the game because I watched him like, damn, he stayed on it. He didn't buck. He didn't get you know he didn't get flustered. He was a little nervous again from the circumstances, but he stayed true to himself. He stayed committed to his ability. He stayed committed to the vision and goals, and he made it happen. But it was the first the backlash that was received during the game from the media, and then it was the follow up after the game. that made me realize, like, damn, when I really look at it, that boy stayed committed to his vision, his goals, to who he is. He kept that confidence no matter how bad the first 3 quarter was, and he stuck it through and he made it happen. So again, for you all, take a look at your first 3 quarters, see how it's going, use it as feedback, and let's finish strong. This is Coach Coleman, Jesse Coleman. Thanks for rocking with me on Breakthrough Blueprint, the podcast, where we help you tap into your full potential. And I'll see you all next week. Peace.